Your insiders, Chris Johnston, Pierre LeBrun, and Darren Dreger. Jamie Drysdale signs a 3-year contract with the Ducks following Trevor Zegras' 3-year contract with the Ducks, which means only one prominent RFA left, and that is Shane Pinto in Ottawa. CJ, does it get done before the season starts?
Well, we're in crunch time right now, and the Ottawa Senators are certainly here working on Shane Pinto, trying to get it done in advance of the season, and this is a really tough one. One thing that Shane Pinto shares with Jamie Drysdale is that he is 2 years from arbitration eligibility, and that makes it difficult to value what could be a second year in a deal, makes the player less inclined to sign a 1-year contract. I think that's partly what slowed up the process in Anaheim. And you know, where things get real here is on Tuesday, because as of this coming Tuesday, that's when players around the league will start being paid for their services. That would when he would be first missing the ability to earn money. And of course, Wednesday is the opening of the Senators season, so they're going to try to get it done ahead of that.
IHF meetings in Portugal, Dregs. We believe the NHL is going back to the Olympics, but how close are we to actually getting a deal to make that happen?
Well, they're inching closer, and they're continuing to work through the logistics. Everyone is still on board with NHL participation, certainly the NHL and the National Hockey League Players Association, but the IHF does have to pony up some money here in covering some of the insurance costs. What about the travel costs for the players and their families? It's expected that those discussions at the IHF level will continue on Friday. The NHL, the PA are eager to continue and push forward.
And not just Olympic news out of those meetings.
No, interesting partnership between USA Hockey, the NHL, and the IHF. Now, the United States is poised to host the Under-18 Men's World Championship in 2025. This is a trial run as far as the NHL is concerned. The league doesn't normally do these things. The hope is, from a IHF perspective, that the National Hockey League will continue to partner beyond 2025. What's interesting is they expect to have testing pre-competition. That event would happen in April, so that would be a nice tie-in to the NHL Draft.
Pierre, we've been hearing the buzz about Atlanta maybe getting yet another chance at an NHL team, whether it's Atlanta and or Houston, Salt Lake, Quebec City. When is this likely to happen, and is it almost a guarantee it's going to happen at some point?
Yeah, for me, it's a matter of when and not if. And you certainly got that sense from listening to Gary Bettman and looking at the body language of the NHL commissioner yesterday at the Board of Governors meeting in New York. It felt like he came so close to just saying it's going to happen, but he said, no, we're not ready yet. But then he talked about the recurring interest and conversations that he's having with those 4 cities that you just mentioned, Atlanta, Houston, Salt Lake, and Quebec City. He was also asked what the next expansion fee would look like. Remember, Seattle went for $650 million. He said, quote, a lot. And he mentioned the recent valuation of some NHL franchises. Ottawa just sold for $950 million, to do the math. And finally, I traded text messages today with Utah Jazz owner Ryan Smith, who you may remember a few months ago has said he wants an NHL team. And he reiterated to me that he is, quote, super interested, end quote, in getting an NHL team. So options there for the league when they're ready.
Right, but doesn't the league have to figure out the whole Arizona situation first?
Well, it's only been 15 years, James. Why would they be in a hurry to do that? Yeah, there's no question that this feels like a once-and-for-all proposition for Coyotes owner Alex Morello to finally get some finality on whether he can fix the arena situation in Arizona. What Gary Bettman said yesterday is that they hope to have some clarity in January or February, and that they remain optimistic that Arizona could actually figure this out. We shall see, but as other governors told me yesterday at the meeting, there's no question you have to figure out Arizona first in case you have to move them to one of those cities that we just talked about, especially whether that's Houston or Salt Lake City.
I know you guys have all seen the Sphere in Vegas, which is amazing. U2 is playing there now, and we know the NHL loves Vegas. CJ, could there be an NHL Sphere tie-in coming up?
Well, it's certainly something the league has explored. And you know, the reason I think we're standing here in October and we don't know where the June draft is because the league has looked at a lot of venues in Vegas. But I can confirm one of the ones that they have considered is the Sphere, probably the preeminent entertainment venue in the world now at a cost of $2.3 billion that's just opening. And that's one of the places I think the league would like to have the draft there ultimately in June. We'll just have to see if they can get all the logistics taken care of to make it happen.
I told the bosses we need a Sphere outside TSN. Although the idea of seeing our giant heads on that thing is terrifying to us and I'm sure our viewers.